name is Robert O'Dowd. I'm from Ireland, but I teach in Spain, in the north of Spain at the University of León. And there I teach English as a foreign language. I also train future teachers of foreign languages there.
Okay. And today we are here to talk about telecollaboration.
Okay, very good.
Robert, what is it?
What is telecollaboration? Well, telecollaboration, I suppose, can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. In the context of foreign language education, what we generally understand by telecollaboration is foreign language learners living in distant locations, so in different countries, communicating with each other online in order to learn the foreign language, learn about the foreign culture, and develop their intercultural skills, their digital literacy skills, things like that.
And how have you come to the field?
Why did I get into that? I got into telecollaboration very soon after I started teaching, because for me, the idea of telecollaboration is communicative language teaching brought to its logical extreme, shall we say, because we always talk about wanting to get our students to be able to communicate together and to communicate in the foreign language. And telecollaboration allows us to get our students to communicate in the foreign language with real people, not with their partners in their own classroom, not with their teacher, but with real humans who are normally native speakers of the foreign language.
Mm-hmm. And you have researched this field extensively. You've published in the field extensively. Yeah. What are your publications about?
I've looked at different things. I started off looking at. I've always been fascinated by the role of culture in foreign language education. So I looked at the beginning, especially in my work, about whether these exchanges actually help to develop learners into cultural competence. What do they learn about the other culture? How do they deal with stereotypes? These type of questions. And I've looked at other things, but recently I've become interested in it from, I suppose, a top-down perspective. Which what I mean by that is telecollaboration in schools. Is it successful? Is it are more and more teachers taking it up? If not, why not? So I'm interested in it to see is it being integrated, normalized in foreign language education in schools, and what are the impediments? What are the things that stop it becoming popular with other teachers? I suppose my problem is that I like it so much. I think the idea is so good. I cannot understand why other teachers mightn't want to do it.
Okay.
But I also I'm interested in saying, how can we help teachers and institutions to integrate this activity into their classes as easily as possible. Okay,
so there is a clear overlap between telecollaborative exchanges and teacher education?
Well, there has to be, because it's quite a complicated activity to organize in classrooms. So most teachers are put off by the amount of work involved. So I think teachers need to be made aware of, first of all, the possible benefits of this type of activity. And secondly, how can they integrate it into their classes in a way that suits their particular context? There's no one format for telecollaborative exchange that works for every school in every country. So I think we have to work with teachers to show them how they can adapt this type of activity to suit their needs in their particular socio-cultural context.
And would that then also be a research focus, something that has not been researched enough and been published?
Yeah, but it's something that I think is becoming important, shall we say. It's something that various researchers are beginning to look at now. And it's something that myself and your good self, Mirjam, and others are thinking about looking at in terms of a lifelong learning project. With hopefully in the future with support from Brussels, with financial support from Brussels, looking at this whole idea of telecollaboration. How can it be more integrated into third level education, in university education? And what are the tools? What are the resources? What is the type of network that teachers at university education need in order to do this activity? So hopefully we will be successful in that next time round.
So where do you see the field of telecollaboration headed in more general terms? I mean, maybe shifting the focus away from teacher education back to the learner.
Yeah, I suppose both things have to go hand in hand, because Well, what I see happening is that some of my students, for example, at university in Spain, who, when they were going to English class with me and did telecollaborative exchanges, they are now starting off in their careers as foreign language teachers in secondary school. And I know, not all of them, but I know some cases that of students of mine who experienced online exchange when they're in university are now trying them out in their own secondary classrooms. So, maybe this is a roll-on effect. If more and more students around Europe can be exposed to this approach to learning, this telecollaborative approach to language learning, and if they are convinced by it, and if it's done well, then when they go on to become teachers or adult learners of other languages, then they will look to continue using this approach as well.
Okay, and beyond the language learning aspect and the intercultural competence development, do you see a space for multiliteracies training in there? Because it is also very much discussed right now in the context of cultural and language learning.
The thing that always goes through my mind with this, you know an awful lot more about this than I do, but about the digital literacies or the e-literacies, whatever you want to call them, it seems to be that the students, I suppose, they are trained in it a certain extent indirectly, but there's no direct training in training of students to use these skills properly.
Would you agree that it is almost a bit of a desideratum right now? Because I personally see this as a precondition, the being multi or illiterate in order to be able to engage
successfully online.
Exactly, in such online exchanges.
It's definitely an area where you could say that this is a great activity for developing these skills. However, you have to keep in mind that most of the teachers that are organizing online exchanges now, they're experts in language and culture, but they're newcomers to the digital literacies themselves, and very often their students will know more about the digital literacies that they need than the teachers do.